gentlemen, welcome back to the Shenandoah University Esports Arena. We have one match remaining for the semester, one match remaining for our Rocket League varsity squad here, the NECC Division 4 National Championship, the last one on the line. SU, the 3 seed, facing Southern Nazarene University, the 4 seed, coming in to this championship Thursday here tonight for all the marbles. We'll have to see who comes out on top. We're expecting a very, very close series here tonight. I'm Ben Kincaid, joined by Gavin Eldridge. How are we feeling about this matchup?
I'm feeling good, but I don't think as good as Qualak, who just waved at our production camera there. Shout out to him. You know, that was good to see. But yeah, super excited to get into Nationals. You know, it is on a Thursday. It's a late Thursday, so, you know, kind of bit of drear there, but, you know, it's exciting times.
Yeah, definitely a late start to a series here for the championship. 9 p.m. Eastern time. Ew, I want to go to bed.
And a best of 7 at that.
And a best of 7 at that, so it could go the distance. We could be here till around 10:30, possibly. Hopefully not that long. I mean, 5-minute games, 7 of them. It won't be too terrible, but we will just have to wait and see if we do go that far. We went that far earlier on last week. Best of 7 going the distance all the way against, I believe, that was SVSU, that team falling to SU 4-3.
Yeah, that game was kind of interesting because when we talked to Shenandoah before that match, they were expecting it to be not necessarily an easy 4-0, but they were feeling very confident maybe they would drop one game, the Shenandoah Classic, as you might say. But instead it went to Game 7. And when talking to them about that match after the fact, it was a lot of, you know, they played at a different pace to us, and we tried to play not necessarily down to their level, but at a slower speed, so, you know, slowing their pace, and that just completely, you know, set them off track. They just were not in the right motions. They were not doing what they usually do, and then that timeout in Game 5 kind of locked them back in. But yeah, kind of concerning that they thought that that game would be super easy, like, you know, we would coast through, get to finals, and then they had to work for it, man.
Yeah, I mean, they were down 3-2 here heading into game number 6 after that timeout, and we were like, oh boy, it might be doomed. I mean, Game 5 looked very one-sided for SVSU, and then SU took that timeout, like you said, after that Game 5, bounced back strong. I believe Mango, our captain on the SU team, hit 2 hat tricks back-to-back, at least one confirmed in Game 6, and I'm pretty sure we got another one in that Game 7 as well. So definitely reignited some flames under them of like, hey, this is how we like to play the game. This is what we have to do to win. Let's see if they can bring it here today against Southern Nazarene. We'll just have to wait and see. Very close seedings with these two teams. I'm expecting another very, very close matchup.
Yeah, and again, looking at like SNU, they, you know, kind of on the same wavelength of Shenandoah. They started off in the regular season a little slow. They dropped a few games, but then in postseason, they absolutely lit it up. You know, they have not dropped a single game, obviously. They also won their conference against New Mexico State, and then they got revenge again against them to send them to finals of here. So they are obviously feeling very confident. You know, their series went 4-2 to get into finals, so not as close. So obviously they have a lot of the momentum while our team is like, okay, we cannot make the same mistakes as last week.
Yeah, I mean, SVSU, excuse me, Southern Nazarene University, I'm used to saying SVSU from last week for 7 straight games. But as we take a quick look at kind of what do these stats look like for these two squads, the regular season record up there for you guys. SU 6-1, Nazarene 5-2. The game record's 20-9 on the side of SU, 17-11, and fairly comfortable series win percentage, 86%, 71% on the other side. So these teams are very evenly matched throughout the regular season here, and we'll have to see if that kind of evenness shows its way through here in this grand finals.
Yeah, and then also to note with this as well is game record. You know, SNU has lost one more game than us, but they've only lost 2 individual matches in that as well. So their series are very, very close and very competitive, whereas us, or Shenandoah, usually if they're going to lose, it's going to be kind of bad. It usually doesn't go to Game 7. It's usually 5 games, maybe 6 if we're lucky.
Right.
You know, they really feed off of the momentum of winning those first 2 games. So if they lose those, their mentals kind of get a little wary.
Yeah, no, and looking at the postseason as well, both of these teams have had a very nice, comfortable run through the postseason for their conference and here at Nationals as well. Both teams sitting at 6-0, 21-5, 21-9. So Nazarene playing a longer series on average than SU throughout the postseason, but they've not dropped a game. They are in it to win it. Both teams 6-0, that 100% series win percentage there, and you can see the game win there, the 81 to 70%, getting a little favored and swayed into SU's side of things.
Yeah, and Ben, I'm not sure if you're aware of how math works, but game record-wise, Shenandoah only lost 5 games, and 3 of them were last week. So in those 5 games before then, they only lost 2 games. So they were 4-1, 4-1, 4-0, 4-0, 4-0. You know, obviously, again, like, don't want to beat a dead horse, but momentum is the name of the game for this team, and just getting off on the right foot in this long series today.
Yeah, and we saw them get off on the right foot in game number 1 against SVSU. They had that overtime win. It was very, very close. I believe it was a 2-1 victory in game number 1. And then it kind of alternated, right? We saw a win for SVSU, back over to SU, and then SVSU went 2 in a row to force it into that 3-2 series. So we'll have to see if they can keep the momentum going early on in the series.
Yeah, and SVSU was also kind of firing all cylinders in that game 5, I believe it was. They scored 5 or 6 goals. It was like 5-2, 6-2, something like that. They were just, you know, really cohesively as a unit. They were playing really, really well. But then the timeout, you know, you have coaches for a reason. Might as well use them. And Qualark, Fernando, all of our people, they clearly got them in the right mental space. Yeah,
they were able to kind of lock them back down. They went outside into the fresh air, which is really nice, getting out of the heat of the PC that is underneath them. So they were able to kind of relock and lock back in, and hopefully they can carry that momentum of the last 2 games into this series. I want to touch a little bit on the players that we are going to see here tonight as well. On the SU side of things, we have our normal Thursday roster, our normal Thursday lineup with Mango, Kiazi, and Pagani, the ones in the driver's seat. We see them there on the screen. The goofball all the way to the left as well. Kiazi, let's see if he can bring the energy here tonight to pump up Mango and Pagani.
Yeah, and Mango, you know, always looking so serious, but in reality, he's not that serious. You know, he just won our goofiest award, our goofiest gamer award.
That's
so
true.
Obviously, as the captain, he has to kind of lock in for the games themselves. But outside of that, he always has high vibes, good vibes, everything like that. But again, you know, looking at him, in those last 2 games, he got double hat tricks back to back, and he was just kind of, I'm going to take the team on back. We're not going to lose this series. So we're expecting that from him as well. But on the other side with SNU, we have someone who, according to Qualark, kind of plays the same way, and I believe it is Briss is his name. Our teams are very similar in that regard. They're basically at mirrors. You know, Griff for our team, or Mango for our team, excuse me, and then Briss for their team. They both kind of just want to score all the goals. Everyone else is playing defense. Okay, avoid the ball in the net. That is our job. Let them to play their game. So that's going to be really interesting to see coming into this, is how, you know, maybe Mango plays more aggressively on Briss. Maybe they do kind of a man-on-man defense. Obviously, defense doesn't really exist in that regard in this. But something along those lines where they try to keep up with each other, because those are the 2 stars of these teams.
Yeah, I would definitely expect to see Briss and Mango kind of go back and forth, trading goals. Kiazi and Bubba as well. Those very defensive players for both of these teams, able to find a lot of clears and maintain and regain possession of that ball. And then Pagani as well, kind of feeding their way in alongside Lando on the other side with Nazarene. We'll have to see what happens. But we do have Kevin standing by with an interview, which I believe is Mango. So we're going to toss it over to them to take it away and get some more insight on what this matchup looks like.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Ben and Gavin. I am here with Mango to talk a little bit about the match ahead of us here today. Mango, how are you feeling?
I mean, nervous, of course. Feeling good, feeling ready, but definitely nervous. I think the whole team's gonna come out here and perform for you guys. I mean, of course, nerves are an aspect, but we're feeling pretty good.
I love to hear that. And speaking of what I love to hear, we just had a moment there where the camera turns on and the place starts going wild. I'm curious to hear, being in an environment where there are a lot more people sort of ready to get you all pumped, how does that kind of play into the match that you're going into?
Well, luckily we got pretty good noise cancellation, so we won't hear them too much, but I mean, it's always good when everyone's getting as hype as we are. Helps us keep our momentum, helps us play better.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about the opponent here today. Is SNU. This team, like you guys, has made it up to grand finals. Strong bracket run. Are you, like, is there anything about this opponent that you're looking out for, or are you all just feeling good? You're going to play your game like you normally do?
I think we're going to play our game like we normally do no matter what. They do have a star player we're going to have to look out for. So no matter what, we're going to go out there for 4 to 7 games, give you the best Rocket League that we can, and hopefully we come away with that dub.
I love it. And now with all that, I will let you get back over to the practice side of things. I will pass it back over to Ben and Gavin. So guys, take it away.
Thank you so much, Kevin, for the very insightful interview there with Mango. Glad to see that they are kind of a little nervous, so they know that, hey, this ain't a cakewalk. We are going to have to play, but I'm also glad to see that this team feels good. They are confident going into this one, but they do have that little fire under their chairs there to be like, hey, focus up, because Briss can get it done.
Yeah, I mean, they're human, obviously, and it's good to see that they have some amount of motion. They're not just robots who are like, all right, easy win, easy win, over
Right.
and over and over. You know, it is worrying to hear that from the captain himself, that he's like, oh, I'm a little worried about Briss specifically. You know, I'm a little worried about, like, this all-star player, but you know, knowing him, when he gets into games specifically, he kind of just locks in. He always has some amount of motion, some amount of doubt, anything like that. But once the cars start moving, he just starts to really kind of engross himself in the game and just lock in.
Yeah, every member on this SU team definitely finds a flow state, it seems, when they get into these games. Mango is the one that we see the most in that flow state because he is the goal scorer for this team. So it's very obvious and noticeable to see when he is on. But Kiazi and Pagani do very good things in their own rights as well. Their rotations have gotten very, very good throughout the semester, able to get back on that defensive side. Specifically, Pagani against SVSU was an absolute wall in Game 6 and Game 7, letting absolutely nothing get past his car. And then Kiazi was doing a great job at setting up with potential passing plays and angles as well, catching some of the clears coming through from SVSU last week and returning them, maintaining possession of the ball, and really controlling the pace of the game.
Yeah, and something to note about the camera specifically is that Pagani, you know, it looks like he has no emotion, but I promise you, he does get excited when they win. He does feel sadness when they lose. You know, he's not a true wall where he doesn't speak or anything like that. But yeah, he's kind of the anchor. You know, when everyone else is kind of in disarray, there's a lot of hype or there's a lot of sadness, whatever it is, he's the one that they can look back on and be like, okay, he's feeling cool, calm, and collected. That's what we need to be. We need to embody that, and that's always great to see from him.
Yeah, and a lot of times in between goals or games and stuff, we go to our roaming cam and we have that down-the-line shot, and Mango was always talking, always trying to be like, all right, this is what worked, this is what didn't, this is something that we need to improve on. Look out for this kind of rotation or this kind of play development coming through from the enemy team, because he does a great job at recognizing a lot of these patterns from teams that they have long series against, right? And is able to adjust on the fly. We are in our Roman cam now. You can see Kiazi. See, the picture doesn't do him justice. When he's on camera, he is something else. But it is always good to see that this team does have that energy and is ready to go. Pagani, serious as always on the far side.
Yeah, serious as always. And you saw Mango in the middle, kind of leaning back a little, maybe relaxing. I don't know what's happening now. Maybe he's kickboxing. I'm not entirely sure. He's doing something, but he's just trying to get the team amped and ready to go. You know, hopefully we get into games soon. But yeah, with him specifically, you know, with having these high emotions and this high variance, sometimes he makes a few mistakes and he starts to doubt himself a little bit. And that's always something that the other two members of the team need to fall back on and be like, okay, relax, like you're good. He had a couple whips early on in the series last week, but then towards the end, he kind of started to fix those. He started to clean up those mistakes, as you might say. You know, he started to just hit the ball a little more precisely, you know, think a little bit more. But he's a very emotionally charged player, and that's something that you want to have when your team is winning, and it's kind of scary when your team's down.
Yeah, it can be scary in a sense when you are down, but they've been doing a great job at being able to balance kind of that emotion on this team, specifically with Kiazi, as you say. The highs are highs and the lows can be low, but hey, that's frankly anyone that plays video games. If you go on a 3-game losing streak, you're like, should I really be playing this game? Should I give up? Should I retire? There's no point anymore. But when you're on a 4-game winning streak, you're like, man, I should go pro. You know, I think this is it. This is like clicking. There's no reason for me to get a corporate job. I should just go pro in League of Legends or Rocket League or whatever it may be. So it does kind of go both ways, but having these 3 players together definitely helps balance out that element.
Yeah, it's a perfect triangle indeed. You know, you have Mango in the middle, kind of just keeps everyone. You know, he's able to elevate himself, but he's also able to be really sad at times. Kiazi kind of just gets in his head a little bit, and then Pagani's there to level it all out. It's a perfect scale for everything that you need out of a team. You know, you don't want when you're a coach and you're thinking about the roster that you want. You don't want 5 emotionally charged players, but you also don't want 5 emotionally dense or dead players. You know, you want some in the middle to kind of just bring everyone up to that level, but you don't want too many, because then you get a bunch of cataclysms, and that's never good. That's a fire waiting to happen.
Right, yeah, the atoms bounce around, they hit each other, and then you have a nuclear blast, and it's all down the drain pretty darn fast. That's how nuclear reactors work, if you didn't know that. Atoms split and they bounce off, and hopefully they don't hit each other. And, 'cause then that
Chemistry facts.
Yeah, that'll blow it up. So we don't want that. But in this case, when you look kind of at this roster, Mango is kind of in the middle kind of mental. Pagani's always calm, cool, collected, and then you see Kiazi is just bouncing off the walls left and right. So we'll have to see what the start of this series looks like, and if they can keep momentum going. We are waiting a little bit on some technical difficulties, but we'll be back into that game as soon as humanly possible. But yeah, it's going to be a very, very close game. My eyes are definitely on the 2 captains of these teams, Briss and Mango, to get this game going.
Yeah, and I'm curious because with like Kiazi specifically, you know, we just saw him get so hyped, so energetic, and then it's 5 minutes before the game starts. You know, all the haters are out there trying to silence him, trying to silence his energy, so he has to keep that elevated. But looking at Mango and Briss, clearly Mango is a little bit concerned with Briss as a player and how he's going to perform here as we get into the kickoff starting now. But again, very, very interesting scenario to watch.
Kickoff indeed in favor of SU there, but won't be able to do a whole lot with that one. Now we see a cross coming through. No follow-up coming through from Briss. They are unable to get there in time. Mango now finding a crossover, but won't be able to find the connection they were looking for. It's Bubba now up in the air, but won't be able to get past the midfield line of Kiazi and Pagani. Flip reset is there for Briss. No boost to follow up, but the whiff coming through from Mango. Shot on goal from Lando is there, and they are first on the board, 1-0.
Yeah, Pagani just kind of getting an awkward touch there. Mango just cannot read it off of the bounce. At that moment, you know, you're 30 seconds into this game. It's time, you know, you're just kind of, you're laying the land, you know, surveying the land, surveying the field, how it's all going at this moment.
I think we are going to have a little bit of a remake, because if you notice the clock, the timer in the top of the screen was 34 seconds. That's not right. We just started. We have 5 minutes left in this game, or at least 4:26 left in the game. But yeah, so we'll have to, I guess, remake that lobby. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I think they'll just flat remake it and then set it to like 4:26 and get a goal scored, and we'll get straight into it. You know, maybe our production can correct us on that. But yeah, I was going to mention it at the kickoff. That's kind of why I tailored off there for a minute, because I'm like, wait a second, 0-0? Like, did they change a patch? You know, I haven't played Rocket League in a few years. Like, was there just a silent patch where it counts up? There's no way. So yeah, obviously a couple technical difficulties there. But look at the start there, you know, Shenandoah kind of looked a little slow, but that's very, very normal for them. They are super commonly, you know, the first team to lose a game, but then they're going to score 8 goals on your head the next game. You know, they just take that first game to kind of read the other team, figure out how they're going to play, what their stars are, how they defensively like attack the ball and things like that. If they're going to contest these arrows, if they're going to play on the ground and wait for them to make a move. You know, there's a lot of mental game and a mental thought that goes into it, that they take that first game to figure it out.
Yeah, and going off of kind of what we just saw in those 34 seconds, Briss is in the air getting flip resets, is trying to style and find fakes here and there, full commits into the net. And then we also saw Lando and Bubba on that defensive side catching those clears, being able to transition that and feed that ball to Briss, which is similar to what SU's game plan sometimes is with Pagani and Kiazi, funneling that ball towards Mango to try to get them some space to work with, to really try to show off the mechanical prowess that these 2 players in Briss and Mango definitely have.
Yeah, and thinking about Rocket League in the way the game, I just got word from production that they are currently trying to figure out what to do with that goal, which I believe it'll just get reset, but we'll have to see. But thinking about the idea of Rocket League and how you play the game, there's a lot of different strategy. But when you have two very similar strategies in how this is, where it's one person attacking, kind of making these highlight plays, these flip resets, whatever you want to call them, and then the other two players playing defensively, there's not a whole lot of development going on. It's going to be a lot of boom ball where you're sitting in your third and you're just going to send it straight forward for Briss or Mango or whoever's up there, and they're going to try and make a play. But that's a lot of defense. So if I were to predict the score, or like the scores throughout this entire series, obviously it's not going to be accurate. It's hard to predict with this game. This game can be very variable. It's going to be like 2 goals scored a game, like very slow, because I don't imagine, unless mistakes like that first goal or like that first goal happen a lot, there's not a lot of potential for it, because there's so many defensive players. There's 4 people in the net potentially. Like that's a lot. So.
Yeah, I feel like if Briss and Mango find purchase and some angles, I think the score could get racked up a little bit. But this defense for both of these squads is very strong. We've seen it time and time again from SU, Kiazi, Pagani specifically, looking very, very strong on the defensive side. But we'll have to see if they can keep that going, because in that first 34 seconds, they missed the ball in the air. And I believe it was Mango on the whiff in the air as well, unable to connect on that one. So we'll have to see if they can kind of remedy that situation as we do wait for whatever the ruling is. Sorry, our production is making faces at us right now, and I cannot keep it together sometimes. So, yes, we'll have to wait to see what that ruling is. I have no idea. I didn't really read the rule books because I'm just a caster. They should tell me.
We're just here yapping, And looking at that first goal, I want to point out that it was kind of a cascading moment there. Pagani missed the ball in the air. He was going up for a contest. I think Mango assumed that production. I'm sorry. They're being goobers right now, but Pagani went up for the ball, and I think he was just trying to alter the way Briss was going at it, attacking the goal. But Mango in his mind was like, okay, he's getting a touch in the ball, so I'm going to play a little bit more up. And then he had to quickly rotate back and just wasn't back in time. So that's something that stems from your communication level. We had a long break between, they obviously scrimmed before this match starts. We had probably 20 or 30 minutes before then for them to just kind of simmer, and then they get out of the game mentality where they're communicating a lot, Ben.
Yeah, we'll wait and see what the ruling is on. Sorry, I can't. These guys, I swear, man, they are silly.
They're having fun.
They're having fun. They don't have to talk for this entire air-filling time here that we get to do. So, hey, congratulations to
Good
us.
On us.
Yeah, that's so exciting. But, yeah, so we'll have to wait and see what the ruling is on this goal. I feel like they're going to keep it because, I mean, the game started, this was legit until we all realized, wait, it's counting up and not down, right? So I do feel like the goal is going to stand. They'll try to reset it down to that 426 and kind of just go into a kickoff, I assume. So we'll have to wait and see if they get that done. It looks like we could potentially be jumping into a game here. I saw our production full reset is the decision. So you nailed it on the head. Not what I expected to come through.
Right. So the thing that I thought with Rocket League initially was that, like, it's very easy to manipulate the time. You just kind of push the ball towards the goal, and right at that time that you need to hit, you're just going to score it in, and then, like, it just resets from there. It's a kickoff again. But no. Full reset. Shenandoah gets a freebie there based off a technical issue with the clock. But now clock says 5 minutes. It is counting down, and Briss is already in there, Chris. Or Ben.
Hey, that's my name. Shot on goal coming through from Bubba there, but unable to connect. Kiazi following up midfield, sending that one above Bubba. Briss up in the air, already there to push it off into that far corner. And hey, once we get to 426, it's already a better start. Cross coming through from Mango, but won't be able to connect with Kiazi there. Pagani working in the corner, but it's going to be Lando again to catch that one and try to fight their way through for this clear.
Yeah, Mango flying straight in. Lando was looking for a touch onto the ceiling, but no. Shenandoah is just peppering the goal with shots, but nothing's able to land as Briss goes up for a flip reset, is unable to connect, and Mango now has possession. He is going to contest it. They lose the 50-50. Shenandoah has a potential on the shot, and I believe that was Pagani that just sat there and kind of relished in the glory that was Mango's first goal of the series.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've got full stop. We were like, oh, this is going to be so beautiful. And beautiful it was. 1-0 now for SU. Slow on the rotations, was Nazarene on that first goal. I don't necessarily think that was a full triple commit. I think they were just kind of caught off guard with how fast that clear was. Mango, a pinch off of the body of a Nazarene defender. 2-0 now for SU.
Man, if you're SNU, you hate to just be in that situation. You're just looking for the ball to kind of plop onto the front of your car and then pop it straight up into the air. And Mango, with the speed that he has, he was just able to contest it 50-50 and pinch it off. Got a little lucky there, but there's also a lot of skill in that. You have to have the speed, you have to have the awareness to contest that. But here comes Briss again with a beautiful pass. Just unfortunately a little too high for Bubba to able to get it into the goal. But now SNU is looking to get one back.
Now we can see the plays starting to develop on the side of S. Oh my goodness, Pagani, what a save off of that upper corner. Lando now tossing it down to Briss. Briss has some boost to work with, but won't be able to get it past the defense. A big bump on the Mango there coming through from Bubba. Kiazi with no boost to work with, loses out on that 50-50 as well. Cross coming through, the follow-up, crossbar, and in for Bubba. SNU on the board.
Well, SNU gets one back, Ben. They get a little bit of a lucky one. That one hits crossbar and it just kind of falls straight in. That's not very common in that scenario. Usually it just sits on the goal line and all 6 players have a panic of, oh my gosh, the ball is on the goal line. It looks like someone has to do something with it. SNU gets one back now. Pagani gets a ball that's set up perfectly, but Shenandoah is opting to play a little bit passively now. They're up 2-1 right now. They just want to kind of chill out for a moment now as we have a second to breathe.
Yeah, Lando with a flip reset there as well, trying to get a little fancy with it in the air, but Pagani was able to read that one, not get faked out just yet. Kiazi with a shot on goal, but really just a clear, if anything, as Briss is there to catch it. Mango now up in the air. Flip reset is there, but will just let it drop down into the corner. Now it's Lando trying to get it past Pagani, but no. Clear coming through from Bubba will find the corner, but no one there from SNU to follow up. Kiazi sending it back over to the corner. SU hold on to their 1-goal lead.
Yeah, and if you look at the boost in the corners of your screen, Mango and Briss are both just playing with everything. They're using everything in their tank, trying to get these goals, trying to spark something for their teams, and it's opting them to kind of flail in the air. They're getting up, they're like kind of faking for a shot, but then they realize, oh, I have no boost. Tink! Lando just gets one on a tink there. Unfortunate for him. And now Shenandoah's on the attack with Mango off the ceiling.
Mango with a demo onto Briss as well, but no one from SU there to follow up on that attack. It could have been a great opportunity. They were able to find it. Flip reset from Pagani, finds the cross. Kiazi with the follow-up. 2-score lead now for SU. 2:10 to go.
Man, Pagani just decided, I want to be Mango for a second here. I want to go flying through the air, look for a flip reset. And he opted for a pass there to Kiazi. That's a rare time where Mango's just not involved in the goal. He was on the reset, and Mango, looking there like a proud father. He's like, hey, my team, they got my back there.
They grew up so fast, says Mango. The sophomore in Kiazi able to find that goal to give them a little bit of a cushion here in game number 1 of this best of 7. SNU now trying to get back on the scoreboard, but Lando in a weird spot. Kiazi now makes it 2. 4-1 SU.
Yeah, 4-1 SU with 1:55 left to go. And I'm not really sure what Lando was expecting there. I think Mango kind of faked him out, looking, maybe Lando thought that Mango was going to make a quick shot there, so he went up too early, but it was really, really good patience by Mango. Something that's a little rare for Shenandoah to have is patience. They're usually just all out, we're going to hit the ball. The second comes in front of their car, and Mango opted to wait. And that was really, really well played by them, and it gives them a huge 4-1 lead.
Mango now up in the air, going for a potential double tap, won't be able to connect. It was just a fake. It was a fake, guys. It's all right. Don't worry about it. Pagani back on that defensive side. A cross coming through from Lando there, but is well caught by the SU defenders. Kiazi trying to find a clear, a little awkward touch that sends it back over to the corner for Bubba, but it's Mango there, or excuse me, Pagani there. No, it was Mango. Both of them were in that corner. I don't know who hit the ball, but one of them did and was able to find a cross over towards that far corner. Yeah,
that's an adaptation right there, Ben, that we just see is that Shenandoah now with a 3-goal cushion is looking to play more defensively. Those 2 times, you had Mango and Pagani, and then Pagani and Kiazi before then, both double committing to make the save, make a good touch on it. Just keep the ball out of the third as they're just playing time with 1 minute left. Briss gets demoed there by Mango, kind of a headshot for one captain to the other. And now Pagani's just looking for an offensive attack. But again, 50 seconds left. They don't need to do anything. They just need to play it slow, keep the ball in their or in the opponent's third, and just wait the timeout.
Yeah, Pagani back on the defensive side. They're just searching for those clears and doing a pretty darn good job at that right now. 35 seconds left here. With that 3-goal lead, it's going to be very difficult for Southern Nazarene to come back in this game number 1, especially if they can't get it out of their half of the pitch. Mango up in the air, finds a little drop crossover. Hovering in front of the net is the ball. Kiazi not following through, finds a cross, instead fighting to try to get it through the defense, but unable to do so. But yeah, these clears after clear coming through from this SU team means that this 3-goal lead will most likely stick unless Nazarene is able to bury it here.
Yeah, and the sequence that you just saw with Mango off of the ceiling should tell you one thing and one thing only, is that Mango's feeling extremely confident. He was going for a very stylish move. You know, obviously they're up 4-1 in that moment, but he's still looking for these highlight reels. He's saying, this is the last game of the season. I'm going to go all out. I'm going to do something really cool. Just watch this. Fortunately, it wasn't able to land right there in that moment, but Shenandoah takes game 1. They are very happy with it. 4-1 lead, so even if you think about the technicality where SNU scored 1 goal before the reset, Shenandoah still takes game 1.
Yeah, 4-1 the score here in that game number 1. 2 goals coming through from Mango, 2 coming through from Kiazi. Took him a while to get online in last week's semi-finals against SVSU, but is already on the board. Pagani, the one in the deep sleep, the slumber coming through, but still playing very, very good on that defensive end, setting up a lot of crosses, a lot of angles, some assists coming through from that player on SU.
Yeah, man, Pagani was a little sleepy there, but he also had that really nice passing play where Mango was not involved. You know, even if he's not the one scoring the goals, he does have a lot of passing plays. He's kind of starting this offense up for SU. He's just, you know, he's the catalyst for them. And I hate to use that word so much, but in Rocket League, that is so important for you. You just need someone who can send the ball forward, get the first touch, you know, beat one defender, and then you have a 2-on-2 or you have a 3-on-2, and that's how goals are scored. Bubba with the only goal for SNU. So Briss is a little quiet in this moment, but you know, game 1, you're kind of just feeling each other out. You're just trying to figure out how each other likes to play. You know, both teams have now learned, hey, if our coaches didn't tell us this, we play the exact same way, and Shenandoah just got the upper hand in the game 1.
And it looked like in game 1, Briss did have looks, but Mango was doing a great job at matching the tempo. It was a shot on goal coming through from Bubba. As guys, you double tap off the crossbar. Kiazi able to redirect that one out of the net. Mango now trying to find a cross. Some boost to work with, but will instead just try to push it to that far corner, playing it safe, not willing to overextend by any means. Man,
that was a crazy read from Kiazi. I'm not sure if that was intentional, but he just kind of drove up the wall and hit it off the backboard from Briss's like redirect. Kind of an insane sequence there. I'm not sure if it was intentional, but it leads to Shenandoah get this kind of free offensive attack. Now Kiazi with a shot on goal, it goes into the corner of their side, but Mango's there with the speed.
Yeah, Mango is there. We'll have to try to fight out of this corner. Pagani's going to take it the opposite direction, pinch across the field. Exactly what SU wanted to see. Briss up in the air as well, trying to maintain some possession, get that ball back. But Mango, the patience off of that wall, doing well to keep that ball out of Briss's hands and allows for SU to rotate back over towards this defensive side.
Man, Mango's just a changed man in this series. Last series, you know, last week, we just saw him play so aggressively the entire time, going all out. And now he has a lot of patience. Even there, sitting on the wall, he's just waiting for Briss to kind of come in, and then Mango's going to look for a play there as he wins the 50-50 out and is going straight into the corner, but Pagani gets bumped, so the offensive attack is kind of nullified.
It's Kiazi trying to find a shot onto the goal there with the pass from Mango. The cross coming through from Pagani as well. Mango off of the post. Kiazi trying to follow up, but won't be able to get there in time. The ball still hovering. Mango still with possession. Flips it up far corner. Mango on his head. 1-0 SU.
And Ben, this is what I'm saying. Look at the patience. Mango just stopped his car right there in the center and was able to like basically steal the ball away from SNU. You know, you never want to stop your car in Rocket League. This game is constantly go, 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 go. But because of that, if you stop one time, it's going to throw everyone off their tracks, and Mango was able to just kind of dribble it in. It was beautifully played.
Yeah, Mango being able to find that cross to that far corner as well, and really just maintain possession of the ball in the face of all of those Nazarene defenders was very, very good from that player. We can see SNU now trying to get back at the Hornets, but they're struggling to find any purchase as it's Kiazi following through with that clear, trying to find that cross out of the corner, but good rotations coming through from Nazarene. Mango with the flip reset, trying to go bottom corner this time, but won't be able to find it.
Yeah, and you can tell that SNU is a little scatterbrained right now in this moment. Bubba and Lando keep going for these double commits. You know, they're kind of laying their cards on top of each other. Really feeling the pressure now as Shenandoah's up 1-0, and they are up a game in this series. they just don't want to let Briss down. They feel like they're the defensive people for them. And here again, Mango just kind of reads the ball, reads the clear, and he's able to just carry it in. But Bubba and Lando really feeling the pressure. They feel like they cannot stop Mango and Kiazi and this offensive pressure that Shenandoah has.
Yeah, it's Briss going back for that boost. Thinks they have the time to get back, but they just are not there in time. Mango moving quickly with that ball in the air, able to find that goal, giving themselves a 2-score cushion here in game number 2, 2-0, as we just crest the halfway mark of this Rocket League match. Let's see if Nazarene has anything to say about a shot on goal. Again, off the crossbar, follow-up coming through, but Briss is able to carry it out of harm's way and possibly find a cross here towards a team member, but a whiff coming through from Lando means they aren't able to capitalize on the aerial carry from Briss.
Yeah, 2 minutes left in NECC Nationals game 2 now, and Griff was just carrying the ball in, but Briss is here now on the respawn. Kiazi looking for a play here, kind of gets into an awkward position where the ball is stopped, but now you have to make a play on it. Pagani's looking to send it into the corner, maybe go for a pass to Mango, but no, Mango's back getting boost, and now SNU has an offensive attack.
Yeah, Briss with the carry, won't be able to find it. Shot off the crossbar yet again. The follow-up sent off towards the corner by Kiazi with the save there. Nazarene now having some pressure here on the offensive side. Can they do anything with it? The tap through from Briss, but won't be able to connect as it's Pagani in the air, able to find the clear. Kiazi now in the air with the ball. Doesn't have the reset there and won't be able to get down in time to contest Briss on that ball.
Man, that's kind of a funny scenario there. We don't usually see Kiazi going up and looking for the shots. He's usually on the ground just kind of surveying the area and making sure no one misses, everyone does their due diligence. But there we see Kiazi again. He's just, just kind of feeding off of everyone else's energy. He says, hey, I can do this too, man. I can take on two members of SNU and just get the ball straight in. Beautifully played by him, and obviously on the camera, he's feeling very confident at this moment.
Yeah, I mean, he just spread arms wide, making sure that no one can get that ball past that car. Bubba now in the air. Kiazi with the pinch off into the corner, and Mango with the clear there, trying to get it past Briss, unable to do so. But yeah, Kiazi and Mango now. 4 goals for Mango, 3 for Kiazi, and Pagani on this defensive and setup position that he has been playing so far in this game number 2 and game number 1 is working pretty darn well, if I do say so myself, with half of a minute to go in game 2.
Yeah, 30 seconds remaining, and Kiazi's just looking to contest it now. You see SNU with 2 members on that ball. They are just so stressed. They feel like they have to score in that moment. Pagani almost gets one himself. Kiazi back into the corner looking for a shot. No, it is deflected off, but here comes Pagani, maybe sending up for Mango. Mango's unable to get it going, but now the ball is straight in the center. Kiazi looks for a shot now. 7 seconds left, 3-0 lead for Shenandoah, and they are just looking to kill the clock.
That clock is dead. 1 second left. As soon as that ball hits the ground, it will be done. And SU finds themselves now with a 2-0 series lead, off to a very, very hot start.
Man, it's good to see that Pagani, is out there talking. The wall does speak, as we learned last week in the interview. He has some emotion. He's smiling. He's feeling good, even though he has no goals scored. That's what I love about this team, is that they really play as a unit. They don't care who's the all-star. They don't care who scores the most goals, who's the highest ranked, anything like that. They just want the wins, and that's all they care about. They scrim so much, and they are just so selfless in that regard. Every single person just feeds off of each other. They all just want to see each other do the best that they can, get the highest rank they can, get the highest placement they can. And now they're up 2-0 in Nationals of Division 4, and they're looking to go really far with this.
Yeah, and even if you don't have a goal scored, that is not what makes you a great player, right? Pagani has been literally everywhere and pretty much involved in almost every single goal and play that SU has been able to draw up thus far. Very, very good ball control coming through from Pagani, making sure that Nazarene is sitting there waiting for the ball to just arrive to them, making sure that they can't win out on these 50-50s, follow up on these clears, because the rotations from that player are just so darn fast. You can't make it to the ball in time before Pagani sets up another pass play and another attack for the Hornets.
Yeah, absolutely, Ben. And immediately I started a dialogue because I kind of figured from a mentality standpoint, you're down 2-0 now, and both these games have been very convincing, that SNU would opt to take a timeout, so we'd have more time to kind of digest that dialogue. but instead they're opting to just go straight into it again. You know, clearly SNU feels like everything that's happening they can fix. And Briss, they're going for a shot, but he kind of just lets his car fall. You know, he doesn't want to overcommit because they've been getting burned on these counterattacks and these three-man plays that Shenandoah has. So now maybe they're going to opt for more of a defensive approach and go for these, you know, kind of in their third all the way up into the goal type goals.
Stuffed cross there from Pagani, not letting that ball get anywhere towards the net. Mango double tap potential, but won't be able to connect. The ball dribbles towards the halfway point of the pitch, but won't be able to find any connection yet is SNU. Mango with the save up in the air, again going for a double tap, but instead it's Lando up in the air to find the save and the push over towards the corner.
Man, it's good to see that Mango there just was not scared that he missed the first double tap. He immediately went back for a second one. I believe that was Pagani that kind of whiffed the ball there, but Kiazi's there to save the day. You know, the wall can miss. The wall, you know, there's ways to get around the wall, you know. Yeah. But it's good to see that Kiazi was back there. And again, with the save, with the clear into the corner. But Shenandoah is kind of feeling the offensive pressure from SNU. They feel like they don't have a moment to breathe. Kiazi's on 0 boost, Mango's on 40. They just feel like they have no gas in the tank at this moment. They're just constantly under pressure. But Pagani making a good save there off the touch. And now Mango's just trying to get the ball anywhere that's not in front of the goal.
Yeah, they were struggling to find a clear there for quite a while, but it's Kiazi finally able to get there. A touch from Bubba won't go in. Just barely missed the save coming through from SU, able to keep them alive here in game number 3, and now transition that over towards an offensive attack. Let's see if they can capitalize on the missed goal. It does not look likely that they will be able to. A 50-50 one there by Nazarene, but Mango was already up in the air to catch that one. The flip reset is there. Oh my gosh. He goes for the fake, but Briss not falling for it.
Yeah, Briss learned that Mango has patience there. And just for a quick moment, I want to shout out production. I'm not sure who said it, who said what to say, but he sounded exactly like the announcers, and I thought that was hilarious. You know, clearly everybody that's watching this game can feel how intense it is, how close it is. There's so many good saves. SNU feels like they've gotten some life back into them. They feel like they actually have some offensive pressure, but again, Shenandoah is biting back. Mango almost had that flip reset, and now the ball goes into the corner. Pagani with a good touch back in, but Lando's just waiting for the save, but no.
Lando trying to find the angle for the save, but just unable to do so. Pagani winning out on yet another 50-50, and Kiazi just up high, burying that one for the first goal of game number 3.
Man, and I think Lando just had a hard time reading that ball. Pagani kind of put it into an awkward spot on the corner where it just rolled over. And I think he thought that the ball would go a little bit faster. So then he stalled his car in the air waiting for it. And at that moment, you know, when your car's stalled like that, you have no ability to flip into the save or anything like that. So beautifully played by Shenandoah. And now SNU, with 2 minutes left in the game, has to score 1 to tie it up.
Yeah, they have to score 1 in the next 2 minutes here, but right now it's not looking like they might be able to with the way this defense has been getting played by SU. It's Kiazi with a shot on goal, but Bubba is there to find that save. Mango trying to find a cross now, but Briss will be able to win out on the 50-50 as well, but directly to Kiazi's car. No threat at all from that 50-50 win, as it looks like it's a semi-triple commit there from Shenandoah, but the quick redirection of the car and the speed flips back on defense get there in time. SNU unable to find one.
Yeah, good use of the half flips there by Mango. It seemed like all 6 members of the game were in that corner. You know, everyone is obviously just doesn't want another goal to go in. Shenandoah wants one, SNU wants to prevent one, so everybody's going to commit in that moment. But now Pagani off of the ceiling goes for a really, really good touch. But Bubba is able to read it off of the ceiling. Beautifully played by him. And now the ball goes into the corner extremely fast. Briss, here he comes.
Well, that was a scary pinch. That was almost right into the net. Hits the post there. Instead, a minute to go now. Lando winning out on the 50-50. Pagani now trying to maintain possession. But Mango with a demo there. A bump from Briss onto Lando as well. They are just taking the ball back and forth from each other. But it looks like they're just trying to give Briss some time to get some boost. Briss now back in the swing of things. A pinch cross coming through, but Pagani able to send that all the way back towards the opposite corner. Another cross coming through from Lando. 35 seconds left. SNU, can you find it?
Yeah, can you find it indeed with 30 seconds left? And it looked like in that moment that bump by Briss was more of a motivational bump where it's like, hey, Lando, like, come on, let's move the ball a little bit. We have 25 seconds left. We have to get a goal here. Briss just keeps sending these beautiful crosses over, and SNU is just unable to do anything with it. The defense from Kiazi and Pagani and Mango is just so stern and so unwavering in this moment. With 8 seconds left in Game 3 of this Nationals, Pagani's looking to take the ball away and slam it straight into the ground.
Yeah, Pagani with that clear as well does make it that they won't be able to possibly find an angle, but the ball is still up, spiked finally by SU in the far corner, and now they find themselves on series point, championship point here, 3-0 lead in the series.
Yeah, 3-0 lead indeed. And something that's kind of interesting happening right now is that Mango and Kiazi, if our notes are correct, are tied in goals.
That's true.
And that is a rare sight to see. Usually Mango has triple, maybe quadruple the goals of everyone else on his team. But Kiazi says, not today. Like, you're the old man. I'm the new generation. I'm going to come in. I'm going to make some stylish plays, and I'm going to score as many goals as I can. But SNU, again, Briss and Lando, very, very quiet. Bubba got that first goal in Game 1, and then nothing from then on out. It just seems like Shenandoah, who's usually known for this unrelenting offense, these triple attacks, these triple commits, everything, these huge passing plays, just is really, really good on defense at this moment. They're just standing tall. They're not allowing anything to go past them, usually clearing at midfield instead of waiting for it to come to the third. It's a very aggressive defensive style, which is kind of a weird thing to say, but it's very true in a lot of different sports where you're going to attack the ball before it even gets into a scoring threat. And I feel like that was an adaptation that was made because of how capable Briss is as a player. His ability to make these huge aerial flipper set plays, they're just not even giving him a chance to breathe. It feels like every time he has the ball, he has zero boost because he's boosting his entire way there to get possession of it.
Yeah, SNU now need to find themselves a reverse sweep if they want to walk away here with a national title. Bubba in the air trying to force their way past the defense, but won't be able to do so. The cross from Mango coming through. The follow-up. Oh, Pagani unable to get there in time. Extremely, extremely close. But the ball just touched a little bit too hard. Sent a little fast on that crossing angle. Mango back on defense there to hopefully defend. But no, Briss will be able to toss it up to Lando. Able to find the goal. 1-0 Nazarene.
Yeah, man, you just need one, and then you can start from there. Beautifully played by SNU. But something, I don't know if people know this, but I'm incredibly colorblind. And in that moment, it looked like on the save for SNU, Briss was kind of facing his goal. And I was like, oh, wait, they're going to score there. And then you made the comment that, like, Pagani was almost able to score. It's like, wait a second, that wasn't an old goal? He was in a very, very peculiar place in that moment. I'm not sure how that happened. But the ability for them to just kind of regain in that moment and then look for an offensive attack that led to a goal was really well played by them, but kind of an awkward moment before.
Yeah, Kiazi now trying to find a cross here, but Bubba is able to catch that one. SNU now find themselves where, with their first lead of the night here in game number 4, they have not been able to find a lead at all in those first 3 games. Pagani now with the cross, Briss with the touch, but Kiazi with the shot, saved. Mango with the follow-up will be able to find it. The triple commit strikes true, and SU tie it up at 1.
Tied up, 3:54 left in this game number 4, and Kiazi looks for a shot, and Mango says, anything you can do, I can do better, and he just follows it up with a much better placed shot. Obviously Kiazi helped a lot with getting the goalie out of the way, but Mango's not going to admit that. He's just going to say, I had the better angle, I had the better shot, I had the better speed, whatever you say it is, he did it better, and now it's tied up with 3:45 left to go in game 4.
Yeah, Mango making sure Kiazi doesn't have any more goals than he. Mango now with 5 in this series. Kiazi still sitting there with the 4, and Pagani yet to find themselves on the board yet here. Kiazi, however, almost did hear me, but won't be able to find the goal there. A very strong shot, but won't be able to find any purchase with that one. Pagani sending it down towards their teammates, trying to find an angle on that one, but won't be able to connect. Lando now winning out on that 50-50. Briss with a small redirect, but won't be able to find any connection with their Nazarene teammates.
Man, how selfless of a player is Pagani in that moment? He's on the ceiling there, and instead of opting to carry it for a flipper set or any sort of play by himself, he instead opts to send it straight down because he knows that it is the higher percentage sequence, the higher percentage sequence for a goal, sending it down to Mango and just allowing him to make a play on it. Unfortunately, it didn't work, but that's something that's so impactful about Pagani as a player. You want to have someone on your team like this who's so selfless, who's so willing to just give it up and say, you have a better chance, you have the better angle, you have whatever, you have more boosts, whatever it is, go make a play for it. And in that moment, that's exactly what you need. But SNU, again, keeping this ball in this corner, Shenandoah is unable to get it out. Mango's going to attempt to make a play off of the ceiling, and he does clear it, but it goes right into Briss's hand, which is a scary spot to be in.
Yeah, Briss flipping it up. Piazzi is almost what I said. That is two different players combined into one. It's Mango now with a shot on goal, almost getting through the defense. Briss is there to find the save, keeping this one tied up as we crest the halfway mark here in game number 4. Can SNU stay alive? They had a lot of offensive attacks coming through in that last 2 minutes, but now it looks like they will be able to find another one. Just as I think the momentum is swinging, Briss brings it all the way back and finds the lead yet again, 2-1.
Man, and I'm trying to figure out what really happened in that moment. I think, you know, obviously Kiazi missed the ball, but I don't think that was necessarily away from him. I think it was more of a miscommunication between Mango and Pagani, because it seemed like Mango was going back right and Pagani was going back left. Both sides thought that the other was going to make the save, and just no one was there to make a touch. But Briss, shout out to him, because he was just able to, you know, see that no one was contesting him. He was just going to take it all the way. And now Shenandoah is really feeling the pressure here as SNU is down 3 games in this best of 7. They just are sending everything they got at Shenandoah.
Yeah, it looked like Lando was going to have another amazing angle, but just unable to get it low enough to go under that crossbar. A minute and a half to go here in game 4. Still plenty of time for SU to strike back and tie things up, but also plenty of time for Nazarene to find an even greater lead. Let's see if they can find the clear. Yes, they will be able to do so thanks to Lando. Briss trying to contest Kiazi in the air, but Kiazi is there first. Pagani now up in the air. The net looks open, but no, Briss is back in time to find a touch, sending it back over towards the corner. Across coming through from Mango. The bump as well is absolutely beautiful. Kiazi now ties it up at 2 with 1:01 to go.
Man, Mango, you know, obviously he did not want to make that bump, because then that gives Kiazi the goal, and now they're tied in the whole thing. But Mango values winning more, and tying this game up with a minute left is exactly what you want to see. Now, if you're Shenandoah, you get very scared when you're in overtime. So if you have a minute left, you kind of want to score here and now, because of the way Shenandoah plays. They play very, very aggressively. They play kind of all-out mentality where free goals kind of just come by sometimes. You know, sometimes it just seems like, oh, that shot was like 5 miles per hour and it went in. That's just by essence of the way Shenandoah plays. So now 40 seconds left. SNU is relentlessly attacking the goal, but now Mango is able to carry it over.
Yeah, finds that pinch there. 30 seconds to go. Briss up in the air, but not a whole lot of boost to work with. Passing it down to Lando. A shot on target. Mango back in time to redirect that one towards the post. So another shot coming through, goes just high above the crossbar there, and Kiazi now back on the offensive side. Flips it through. The demo coming through as well. It's sitting there, but Briss is able to find a push off into the corner. 10 seconds left. Mango in position, won't be able to find anything. Kiazi now with a touch, has that demo as well onto Bubba. The big-bodied Kiazi trying to make their way through the defense, but unable to do so. Ball hits the ground. We go to overtime in game 4.
It's like that meme, Ben, where everything is fine, but it was not fine. Mango had a really, really awkward save there, and in Briss did the same. They both made saves with 0 boost left, but now we go into overtime with 10 seconds into it, and Shenandoah is already on the attack. Mango kind of gets bumped out of the way by, I believe, Lando in that moment, but now he's back with boost. Lando seems to have full possession of it, but no, he has no boost to make a play, just make a passing play into the corner.
Yeah, into the corner they go. The follow-up coming through goes just off of the corner. The shot on goal goes underneath the defenders. Bubba there to save the day in that 32nd game for overtime. Nazarene stay alive in the championship.
Yeah, that was a kind of a happy accident for Lando in that moment. It seemed like he just bumped Kiazi, but I don't think Lando was really trying. I don't even know if he knew that Kiazi was there. Kiazi just had too much speed, or maybe not enough, however you want to look at it, where he just ran straight into him and was unable to make a touch on the ball. And now, you know, SNU kind of scored quite a few goals. You know, I believe they scored 3 goals in that moment. And now they have the momentum. But Shenandoah still up 3-1 in this best of 7. They just need one. They just need to score 1 goal and then play a defensive battle here. But SNU now looking to run away with it.
Yeah, I mean, possibly trying to gain some sort of momentum in that game for win. It will not be a clean sweep here in this national championship, but SU, I mean, you need to win one game. Nazarene needs to win 3 to win this championship. You have all the time in the world to find this 5 minutes to go your favor, pending a potential overtime like we saw here in game number 4. But it was a very, very close game number 4. We saw Lando and Briss, Bubba, all 3 of them finding a goal in that game, trying to keep Nazarene alive. It was Kiazi and Mango with a goal each in that game number 4. But Nazarene might start waking up here. Looks like their offensive shots are now on target. They're following up on double taps, on passes, and are catching clears and able to catch up to their own clears to transition that into some offensive power.
Yeah, the formula for success for SNU was all 3 members of the team had to score, and Shenandoah has not had that yet. Pagani, if you can hear me, gotta get one, kid. You know, last week I did the same thing where I said Kiazi's been really quiet and he proceeded to score 2 goals. And this moment, if Pagani can score 1, I can almost guarantee that Shenandoah will win this individual game. But it all starts from getting the ball out of the third. Lando looks for a touch. It just kind of goes a little bit wide. Mango's looking to kind of speed the ball out of his corner and look for an offensive attack. He gets a beautiful touch, and Kiazi's just unable to finish it in. It was kind of an awkward angle with his car. He just didn't have enough power behind it.
Yeah, just unable to get to that ball in time is Kiazi. Pagani did follow up on that angle, but was unable to get past the defense in that corner. Kiazi with the save goes low. Pagani with some momentum in the air, but it's Bubba able to meet them halfway and get that ball out of SU's control. A pinch now over towards the corner. A minute in here in this game, number 5. Lando whiffs on that one as Kiazi up in the air, but still a good center ball coming through from Nazarene. Briss in the air, tosses it low. Bubba is there, and SNU is first on the board yet again.
Yeah, but I don't think that was a whiff from Lando at all. I actually think that was a calculated fake. As much as people in Rocket League like to say that they're faking whenever they miss, it really seemed like in that moment that Bubba was there to make the passing play, and Lando didn't commit any boost in that moment to make the touch. So it just seemed like really well played by them. It feels like they're communicating exceptionally well, where they all know exactly what they want to do as a team, how they want to make these beautiful attacking attempts.
Kiazi now in the air, trying to find a cross over to Mango. Mango with a shot on goal, but Lando is back into the net to find the save. The pinch off the ceiling as well. A shot which would have been on goal from Nazarene is blocked by Kiazi at the midfield point. Back up in the air, bumps left and right. Pagani now trying to find an angle, but won't be able to find the goal. It's Lando there to redirect.
3:10 left in this game, and I was about 15 seconds. Still keeps going, where SNU has 0 boost, and Shenandoah is just unable to make a play on it. Bubba and Lando, I don't think have had a boost packet in like 30 seconds at this point. Just constantly under pressure, but they are holding strong. They are making sure that this ball does not go in, as Shenandoah is throwing everything they have at everything, including the kitchen sink, at this goal.
Yes, Pagani now in the air, another shot on goal. Briss is there. Mango, however, able to squeak it by the defense. And look at the boost in this replay. Absolutely nothing to the name of Nazarene. Mango with a beautiful touch over all 3 members of that defense, able to tie it up.
Man, yeah. If you're looking at this game without the boost, if we could not see the boost, SNU would look kind of silly in that moment. You know, you're committing 3. Oh my gosh, and a kickoff goal for Mango. He says, you know, Kiazi, you're not going to contest me. You know, I'm going to outscore you. I demand it. I foresee this happening, and he just gets a free kickoff goal there with 2:43 left in this game.
Yeah, Lando fully sent it on that kickoff and absolutely missed. 2-1 now the scoreline in this game, number 5. Still plenty of time to work with, but if you're Nazarene, you're kicking yourself for letting that one go through. It was such a close game, and letting up a freebie like that definitely comes back to bite you mostly every single time when that happens. Yeah, I fumbled through that one. Hey, Gavin, take it away.
Mostly every single time. I like that call. SNU, you know, obviously when you have such a high-level Rocket League game like this, you know, all these games have been really, really close, even though the scoreline's 3-1. You know, you hate to see a kickoff goal. That is the most demoralizing thing, even from a spectator's perspective, because, you know, at that moment, I was communicating, I was talking through my whole monologue, and all of a sudden there's another goal, and I have no idea what happened, and that's just unfortunate. But now SNU is just down 1-2 with 2 minutes left in this game, and they really want to get that back because they don't want to go out swinging like that.
Briss up in the air trying to connect with Lando there. Bubba now trying to find a cross as well, but SU locking down on the defensive side of things. A pinch coming through from Pagani, and Kiazi goes down low but won't be able to find a connection with Mango, who is, I'm assuming, waiting for some kind of cross to come through, but possibly not wanting to commit too hard and leave that goal open for a tying shot.
Yeah, a minute 30 left in this game. Shenandoah knocking on the door of a championship here, and the nerves are starting to set in as Kiazi kind of front flips into the ground. A little bit of an awkward angle there, but no, Mango says, team, we don't have anything to worry about. Let me give us more of a cushion, and he just bangs that one straight in. Beautiful pass by Pagani, you know, off the corner. He's still silent in goal regard, but assists, he's definitely leading the team. Yeah,
I mean, Pagani again with another great touch. Mango able to catch that one off that corner as well and thread the needle through two defenders there on Nazarene. They might be able to do it again. Mango up in the air, goes low, a slow shot coming through, and I think that might have been another backflip, question mark, just like Game 7. Briss, what was it? Ooh, that's not what you want to do.
Ooh, indeed. That is exactly what happened last week with SWU. Was an unfortunate backflip that kind of sealed the deal. Shenandoah, you know, they're kind of like hunters in that regard. When you make a mistake, they are looking for it. They're just going to keep putting the pressure as Mango looks for a stylish play there. Pagani's up in the air as well. Everybody's throwing everything at it because now they feel like SNU is scrambling. They're panicking. They have a minute left to score 3 goals, and Shenandoah's not going to give them a chance to breathe.
A minute left indeed. 3-goal deficit, like you say. Briss with the flip reset, trying to find anything. A triple commit coming through from SNU as well. Won't find any purchase. I mean, just mistakes coming through from Nazarene in the final minutes of this Game 5. Finds themselves crumbling to the pressure of the Hornets.
Yeah, crumbling to the pressure, man. Shenandoah just has so much pressure on this game. They just are constantly attacking. This ball's been in the corner for the last 15 seconds, and now they're going to finally let it out. They're going to say, you know, SNU, you can have this ball now. You can take possession, but they don't want it. At this moment, they are panicking. They're triple committing to everything. 10 seconds left in this game, down 3.
10 seconds left indeed. Mango up top trying to go for a double tap. 5 seconds and counting. SNU, you're down 3. Once this clock hits 1, it'll be done and dusted. SNU trying to finish the season on a high mark. The double tap angle from Lando. The shot goes just wide from Nazarene. The ball finds the ground, and you can see the pop-off from Kiazi, far side. They have done it. The NECC Division 4 National Champions are your Shenandoah University Hornets.
Yeah, indeed, Division 4, big win for them. You know, in the past, they've always done pretty well. I don't believe they've ever had a championship like this for them. You know, they've made it super far in playoff runs, everything. But shout out to Pagani there. He's still stone cold. They won, and he's just like, you know, here, I'll give you a little fist pump, whatever. Mango and Kiazi, not the same at all.
Kiazi was up instantly, and I don't know if you heard it all the way back here. Frame 1 jump coming through from Kiazi. I heard him screaming through 2 doorways here
two
from
doors.
where we are standing. So yeah, Kiazi got loud. Mango, I heard him a little bit, but really it was that wacky, goofy player there on the far left. But nonetheless, a championship brought home to Shenandoah University. It's a 4-1 series victory for the squad, looking in complete control through and through.
Yeah, and that's really heartwarming for them because this game did not feel close like the last game specifically. So they had time, you know, for like the last minute and a half to say, oh my gosh, this is happening. Like, we're winning everything. Like, you don't have all of the stress leading up to, you know, you're up 3 goals with a minute left. At that moment, you're like, wow, we did this, you know, guys. Like, hey, like, good work, take your victory lap, whatever you want to say. It's nice to see that it wasn't a, you know, as much as the casters love to have it as a Game 7 overtime goal, then you don't get these huge pop-ups. People are like, oh my gosh, I'm relieved. Like, oh, we did it. This time, they were able to just feel so confident, feel so happy after the pack.
Yeah, and you could see the pressure kind of surmounting on Nazarene as well. We saw the kickoff goal go through, the backflip from Briss as well, the misinput coming through there on that save. It is hard to really find. Oh my goodness, do we have a
okay
gift?
Well, sure.
Hello.
Yo, what is up, team?
Oh my. Hi, how are you doing?
How are you doing?
Hey, congratulations on the win.
Hey, thanks, man.
Hey, yeah,
Appreciate
of
you.
course, no problem.
Appreciate you. Where's the rest of my team?
Are they all coming back?
I don't know. Are they coming back?
Are they?
Where's my team?
I don't know.
I don't know. We could probably make space.
They're coming.
Oh,
okay.
we're getting the team. Okay.
The team's on the way.
Right.
Am
Well,
I still
hey,
on camera? Hey, I'm
Mango.
still on camera, guys.
Oh, the team.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my gosh, they're coming.
Hey, let's
Look
get
at
all
them.
funnel in here. Why don't we?
Where's Terrence?
Oh my gosh. Hi,
I
Sean.
don't want to kick you out.
Where's Terry?
You want to say something?
Where's
Yeah,
Pagani?
Hi, my
Pagani?
dad. Let's go!
Oh my god.
All right, cool.
All right, yeah. Let's let the Rocket League team kind of blow
Oh, you
our
don't- you
ears
want
out
to-
for a
You
second.
want to find a way in
Okay.
here? Yeah.
Yeah,
Are we all on camera? Hey.
hey.
Sorry to take Kevin's job, but like, is there anything
no.
you want to ask us?
Well, how do you guys feel right now after that very commanding victory? Let's go down the line. Let's start with Griff.
All right.
We'll go all the way down.
I mean, yeah, that's cool. Like, we won. Like, I'm very happy with it. You know, can't complain, man. Natties, come on, quit playing.
Yeah.
Let's go, baby! Natty Championship, let's go!
I've seen these guys play all season. They played really, really freaking well, and I'm so proud of you guys.
Nice.
Yeah, we came, we saw, we conquered, so that's that.
Conquered indeed. Now, I want to talk to you two specifically. You guys were very close in goal scoring throughout the entire series. You were tied 4-4. You were tied 5-5. Hey, I'm getting to game 5.
Yeah, we're getting there.
You
Come
scored
on.
4 goals in game number 5,
Yeah.
Griff. A hat trick and one. What
Yeah.
was the momentum going into that game after the loss in game 3?
Well,
Or 4?
all right. Well, I was playing with the car my girlfriend made me in games 1, 2, and 3, and I was doing really well. And then game 4, I was like, you know what? I got to bring out the classic, try to bring out the skyline. Longer hitbox, not as tall, bad move. Coach said I should have left it in the garage. I agree. Pulled out the Octane game 5, and I mean, hey, they just, it's like a snowball, man. When you get rolling, they can't stop it. Like,
Yeah.
I knew from the moment we got that kickoff goal, I was like, dang, I'm big. We got momentum now. Like, we got this, dude.
Yeah.
Game.
How do you feel about your 5 goals here in this series?
Hey, I just gotta do my job. That's all it is.
There you go.
Yep.
Now, Pagani, I know you went scoreless here tonight, but man, you guys were ball hogs, might I say. No,
What? We didn't call them out like that, man.
I'm kidding. No, you set up a lot of what they did, right? You had a lot of crosses coming through from the corner. You had a lot of saves coming through as well. What was it like kind of just playing through this series knowing that, hey, I can set up these guys beautifully and they can get the job done?
I mean, yeah, what I really do for this team is kind of just play, or what I do for this team is really just play around them, honestly. I wouldn't say let them do the work, but sometimes in some games I'll get aggressive, sometimes I won't. And tonight, just kind of stayed that third man. That's what I do best.
And sometimes you did have like some really, really close shots too. Like you
That's
had
very
some
true.
pretty nice like ceiling plays. You had some nice flip
He's better
resets.
than-
Like they were really close. Like don't doubt yourself too much. You had the potential. They just they had to ruin the fun a little bit.
Now, Sean, you have been sitting sitting in the wings. There it is for this semester, watching these 4, including a limb that was playing on Tuesdays throughout the entire semester. What have you learned watching these players, and what have you learned to kind of work on for your game to kind of increase your skill level?
It's not all about the mechs, which showing off is a very fun thing, but it's not the whole entire thing. Goes down to the fundamentals, goes down to you hitting your shots, goes down to you putting it in the net. And off of all of you guys, yes, you can be a really good player, but if you can't work with your team, there's no reason to win.
No,
I mean,
absolutely.
Teamwork makes the dream work. I mean, we saw it here tonight. Any final words you guys would like to say to the audience, to the prod team, to anyone in the arena?
I mean, we just want to say thank you to everyone watching, supporting all season long. Not only the people at home watching on stream, shout out all the parents, the loved ones that are watching along with our journey. But thank you to our amazing broadcast here that are making this all very valuable for your viewing pleasure. I see them all through the window. They do more work than anyone out here. Shout out our admins for having faith in us the entire semester long. We couldn't do anything we do without them. So shout out everybody here. That was
Right
really
on.
That was really heartfelt.
Well, yeah, I think you hit everything. Does anyone else have anything to add to that spiel? No,
we're good.
No? Yeah. Well, alrighty. Well, congratulations, everyone, on the victory. National champions, you 4 are. I don't know what the process is
want me
now.
to get
Hey,
out?
maybe we just
I don't
toss
know.
it. I mean, the interview's done. You can stay here.
Yeah,
We're just
no,
going to toss it to
I'm
an ad.
kind of curious what's going to happen.
That'll
I
be
don't know.
a little bit of
Do
everything.
we
so,
still do an interview with Kevin?
Oh, I don't know. Is Kevin out there?
I don't believe
Kevin's gone.
that's
hey,
happening.
do one of you guys want to toss it to the ad? Kiazi, you want to toss it for us?
You want to toss it to the ad?
Toss it to ad
You
break?
want to do an interview?
Or
Wait.
the end? Oh, wait, Kevin's here. Hey, we're stalling.
I don't know what's happening. Hey,
I don't
it's
either.
like the last broadcast of the year minus
This
the
is.
Smash event happening. I believe
Oh,
this
yeah,
Saturday.
yeah,
That is
yep.
happening, but this is the last Shenandoah official
That is true.
broadcast. So
That is true.
we're getting it kind of a little sloppy with it. I'm not really sure if we're going to an interview.
I think we have wrapped up the night. We are all
Okay.
good and ready to go. Anything you would like to say to our lovely team?
No, I mean, I got kind of thrown into the Rocket League casting like halfway through.
That's true.
I feel like it's a lot of fun. Our team is really, really fun to watch. They have a lot of emotion. They're very energetic. They do things like come onto the desk and just kind of yap, and it's a lot of fun to have them on, so I'm very thankful for them.
Yeah, absolute blast watching this team blossom and grow throughout the year. Last semester, this semester as well, playing so well together. Pagani getting back in the mix, coming out of a temporary retirement, played with Mango and Qualark years and years ago. So it's good to see him back on the sticks, driving that car to perfection. So we're going to toss it to an ad and close out our Shenandoah broadcast here for the year. Thank you so much for sticking with us through the thick and thin, and we will see you next time.
Shenandoah University is a big little university rising.
With 22 Division III sports teams, over 200 areas of study,
over 300 annual performances, an elite academic esports program,
Nationally ranked health professions programs, one of the biggest university presences on Broadway,
immersive AR and VR learning programs,
cybersecurity and computer science programs, and innovative undergrad and graduate programs.
all at a place that cares for you.
Shenandoah University is the big little university rising. Find out more at su.edu/rising.
We have the Esports Arena right here on campus in Winchester, Virginia, and this facility acts as the hub for all esports activity at Shenandoah University. Students are able to use this space not just for competition and practices, but also as a living learning community and a sandbox for them to come and explore and practice and try out things related to and through esports in the gaming industry so that they're getting that hands-on learning and the skills necessary to help them find a career by the time they graduate. We also have the professional level broadcast production booth where we do all of our broadcasting and production, from casting of our games that we play right here on campus to working with outside entities to record footage for them as well. In addition to the space that we have here in the Esports Arena is the Esports War Room. Our students get to use that space for studying, but also outside projects. So our students get to use this space for professional development and the academic side of our esports program, which is such a critical component to go with that competitive element that we have. So we combine all of our facilities at Shenandoah University with competition, community, and career preparation. We have over 250 days of programming, and there's something for everybody, and we want you to be part of it.
Mango, to talk a little bit about the match ahead of us here today. Mango, how are you feeling?
I mean, nervous, of course, feeling good, feeling ready, but definitely nervous. I think the whole team's gonna come out here and perform for you guys. I mean, of course, nerves are an aspect, but we're feeling pretty good.
Glad to see that they are kind of a little nervous, so they know that, hey, this ain't a cakewalk. We are going to have to play, but I'm also glad to see that teams that they have long series against, right, and is able to adjust on the fly. We are in our Roman camp now. You can see Kiazi. See, the picture doesn't do him justice.
Flipper set is unable to connect, and Mango now has possession. He is going to contest it. They lose the 50-50. Shenandoah has a potential on the shot, and I believe that was Pagani that just sat there.
That was a full triple commit. I think they were just kind of caught off guard with how fast that clear was. Mango, a pinch off of the body of a Nazarene defender. 2-0 now for SU.
Manager.
Big bump on the Mango there coming through from Bubba. Kiazi with no boost to work with. Loses out on that 50-50 as well. Cross coming through the follow-up. Crossbar and in. Demo onto Briss as well, but no one from SU there to follow up on that attack. It could have been a great opportunity. They're able to find it. Flip reset from Pagani. Finds the cross. Kiazi with the follow-up. 2-score lead now for SU. You now trying to get back on the scoreboard, but Lando in a weird spot. Kiazi now makes it 2-4-1 SU.
Yeah, 4-1. Just watch this. Fortunately, it wasn't able to land right there in that moment, but Shenandoah takes game one. They are very happy with it. 4-1 lead, so
trying to follow up, but won't be able to get there in time. The ball still hovering. Mango still with possession. Flips it up far corner. Mango on his head. 1-0 SU.
And Ben, You know, they just don't want to. They don't want to let Briss down. You know, they feel like they're the defensive people for them. And here again, Mango just kind of reads the ball, reads the clearing up and looking for the shots. He's usually on the ground, just kind of surveying the area, making sure no one misses, everyone does their due diligence. But there we see Kiazi again. He's just, you know.
That clock is dead. 1 second left. As soon as that ball hits the ground, it will be done. And SU finds themselves now with a 2-0 series lead, off to a very, very hot start.
Pagani with a good touch back in, but Lando's just waiting for the save, but no.
Lando trying to find the angle for able to possibly find an angle, but the ball is still up, spiked finally by SU in the far corner, and now they find themselves on series point, championship point here, 3-0 lead in the series. A little fast on that crossing angle. Mango back on defense there to hopefully defend, but no. Briss will be able to toss it up to Lando. 3 games. Pagani now with the cross. Briss with the touch, but Kiazi with the shot. Saved. Mango with the follow-up. Will be able to find it. The triple commit. Stay alive. They had a lot of offensive attacks coming through in that last 2 minutes, but now it looks like they will be able to find another one up in the air. The net looks open, but no. Briss is back in time to find a touch, setting it back over towards the corner. Across coming through from Mango. The bump as well is absolutely beautiful. Kia in the air, but not a whole lot of boost to work with. Passing it down to Lando. A shot on target. Mango back in time to redirect that one towards. Has that demo as well onto Bubba. The big-bodied Kiazi trying to make their way through the defense, but unable to do so. Ball hits the ground. We go to overtime in game 4. Corner they go. The follow-up coming through goes just off of the corner. The shot on goal goes underneath the defenders. Bubba there to save the day. Kiazi up in the air, but still a good center ball coming through from Nazarene. Briss in the air, tosses it low. Bubba is there, and SNU is
win. As Shenandoah's throwing everything they have at everything, including the kitchen sink, at this goal.
Yes, Pagani now in the air, another shot on goal. Briss is there. Mango, however, able to squeak it by the defense.
If you're looking at this game without the boost, if we could not see the boost, SNU would look kind of silly in that moment. You know, you're committing 3. Oh my gosh, and a kickoff goal for Mango. He kind of front flips into the ground. A little bit of an awkward angle there. But no, Mango says, team, we don't have anything to worry about. Let me give us more of a cushion. And he just bangs that one straight.
Through 2 defenders there on Nazarene. They might be able to do it again. Mango up in the air, goes low, a slow shot coming through, and I think that might mark the double tap angle from Lando. The shot goes just wide from Nazarene. The ball finds the ground, and you can see the pop off from Kiazi, far side. They have done it. The NECC Division 4 national champions are your Shenandoah University Hornets.
Oh, okay.
Gift
well,
of
sure.
Hello.
Yo, what is up, team?
Oh my. Hi, how are you doing?
How are you doing,
Hey, congratulations on the win.
Hey, thanks, man.
Hey, yeah.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Pagani.
Hi, Dad. Let's go!
Oh my God. Demanding victory. Let's go down the line. Let's start with Griff.
Right.
We'll go all the way down.
I mean, yeah, that's cool. Like, we won. Like, I'm very happy with it. You know, can't complain, man. Natties? Come on, quit playing.
Oh, baby! Natty Championship, let's go!
So we conquered, so that's that.
Conquered indeed. Now, I want to
from the moment we got that kickoff goal, I was like, dang, I'm big. We got momentum now. Like, we got this, dude.
Yeah. How do you feel?
Watching, supporting all season long. Not only the people at home watching on stream, shout out all the parents, the loved ones that are watching along with our journey. But thank you to our amazing broadcast here that are making this all very valuable for your viewing pleasure. I see them all through the window. They do more work than anyone out here. Shout out our admins for having faith in